Have you ever wondered what edema plant disease is? Well, in this video, we're going to get into it. You're here with Mark on Perfect Gardens TV. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't checked us out on Instagram or Facebook, make sure to do so. We also have the $2.99 membership where there's over 115 growers ready and willing to assist you through your growing practices. If that's not enough, make sure to check out the VIP one-on-one down below on the description. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to show you what's going on with my potato plants right here. Do you see all this bumping right here? This is actually edema plant disease. And what is edema plant disease? So edema plant disease is actually caused by roots taking up more water than the leaves can transpire. This excess water ruptures the cells, particularly on the underside, and leads to water soaking patches and turns corky and unsightly. So in the next few days, I'm actually going to show you how I solve this problem. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to back off, obviously, on the amount of water I'm providing this plant and this plant. As you can see, this one right here is taking off and it's gorgeous. So that's the first thing. Second thing I'm going to be applying is EM1, Drops of Balance, and OrganiShield. And I'll be recording this over the next few days, showing you how the plant can recover completely from this disease and come back looking beautiful with your potato crop not getting devastated. I highly recommend using biology throughout the garden, and if you just kind of go over the rest of the garden, giving you guys an update. Every single time I spray, and I normally spray my OrganiShield at 40 mLs per gallon. I will use, if I'm using tap water, I'll use 4 mLs of Drops of Balance per gallon, and the OrganiShield I'll use 1 ounce. And as you can see, crop's looking pretty good. Okay guys, so from one single foliar spray, you can see the level of improvement from the edema plant disease on the potato plants. The edema plant disease is absolutely devastating for potatoes. And right here, as you see, one single spray, I definitely can tell you that I saw a lot of growth in these plants. And just that overnight, I mean, tons of new foliage. I'm going to give this about a week before I do another foliar spray. But for most potato farmers, this is a absolutely devastating problem to have, edema plant disease, because it just shrivels up all the leaves, photosynthesis stops, and your yield ends up getting dramatically reduced. So I just wanted to show you guys that, and we'll keep going. So this is now day 1.5, and you can see the plant edema. It's still there a little bit. Like I said, I only do a foliar spray once a week, but in a matter of just literally 36 hours, you can see all the new growth. The edema's gone. Obviously, the damage has been done. You know, there's not a lot that can be done, but the part of the leaf that is green, it can recover and it can improve itself. And like I said, just the Drops of Balance, the minerals with the bacteria, and because the OrganiShield, how it breaks down to water, CO2, and sugar, those three combined together creates a complete integrated pest management solution. Edema plant disease in potatoes is absolutely devastating. And if large commercial farmers had the ability to literally just do one foliar spray and the plants recover 60% overnight, it would just make a world difference. If you know any large commercial farmers, please send them the video, because this would make a difference in their life if they ever ran into this problem and they knew they had a solution to it. Okay, here's another update with the edema plant disease. As you can see right here, it's starting to come up again. I'm going to go ahead and foliar spray them, just like how I did last week. But as you can see, I've had an enormous amount of new growth throughout the plant. And this is just going to be something that I deal with until the potatoes get a little more established and until we get a little more foliage up at the top of these pots. So, one day at a time. Okay, so I am so proud of myself right now, because I actually just figured out why I'm having edema plant disease in my potato plants. And you know, I'm using the foliar spray to counteract the problem, and I thought it was me and pit moss, actually. Well, not pit moss's fault, but I overwatered and the soil's retaining too much water. Although what's actually happening is the sprinklers are coming on at night, and they're watering my garden, this side of it at least. And so now that I've been able to figure out what the problem is, I'll be able to actually fix the problem. I'm gonna put up some Solex on this side. I'm gonna block. It's gonna be really nice actually. I'm gonna put up an additional couple pieces of wood right here. Build this out a little further, another 4 or 5 inches, and I'm gonna end up putting an additional piece of Solex all the way down to protect the plants from the water from the sprinklers at night. I'm actually really proud of myself right now. I think that it's really important for you as a grower too, when you identify your problems, or at least you think you might know what the problem is, to take action, because knowledge is not power, it's application of knowledge is power. Anyways, obviously this is a new grow area for me. I've never grown here. I just moved in. If you've been following the channel for the last few years, you know I got evicted from my home right when COVID started. It wasn't a money issue. It was the landowners thought the marketing house was going to crash, and they actually ended up evicting all of their tenants and dumped their homes on the market. That's cool. No big deal. It was a smart decision overall when you think about it. It put me in a situation where I had to kind of, in the last couple of years, refigure things out again. So whenever you move into a new area and you start growing, every area is going to have its own little quirks. And my landowner, which is phenomenal, I really appreciate this gentleman that allowed me to move into the duplex. Still though, it's a new growing area, and when you really just look at it, you can see just all the algae buildup happening right here. You see all the algae buildup happening right here. And it is because of the grass being watered at night. So I'm going to go and fix the problem, and let's see what happens. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a quick update on the edema plant disease. And as you can see, I put up a barrier to actually block the sprinkler systems. And you could just see right here. Obviously damage has been done. But that foliar spray that I've just stayed on top of has really made a huge difference. Still though, the disease is still there. What I'm also realizing too is that when I foliar spray, it's literally just putting moisture on the leaves, and it's allowing water to get where it's going, really, just because just visually seeing and realizing that when the plant's damaged like this, water's not flowing into it. So if I foliar spray, I'm obviously giving CO2, but I'm also giving moisture and water to the leaves that probably water's not really able to disperse there. Anyways, just wanted to give you a final update. Garden's looking great. So obviously some of those key combinations of things that he was talking about was watering consistently, and then using trace minerals, and obviously the importance of coenzymes, and coenzymes